Gospel of December the 23rd, 2016. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. When the time arrived for Elizabeth to have her child, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown his great mercy toward her, and they rejoiced with her. When they came on the 8th day to circumcise the child, they were going to call him Zechariah after his father. But his mother said in reply, "No, he will be called John." But they answered her, "There is no one among your relatives who has this name." So they made signs asking his father what he wished him to be called. He asked for a tablet and wrote, "John is his name." And all were amazed. Immediately his mouth was opened, his tongue breathed, and he spoke, blessing God. Then fear came upon all their neighbors, and all these matters were discussed throughout the hill country of Judea. All who heard these things took them to heart, saying, "What then will this child be? For surely the hand of the Lord was with him." Gospel of the Lord, praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. We continue with these happenings, and now we are presented with the birth of the forerunner, of the precursor, the one that is to proclaim and to prepare the way for the Lord. He has been born, the Baptist has been born from and in the house of two just ones, Elizabeth and Zechariah. Zechariah being a priest. It is very interesting how Elizabeth gave birth her son, and on the 8th day they came to circumcise the child. They were following the law of Moses, the commandments of God. Circumcision was the covenant made with Abraham and Yahweh. By being circumcised, they proclaimed that they were the people of God. Perhaps they missed the point, many of them, that the circumcision must be precisely of the heart, so that there would be no double standard in the heart, that we would just be plain. Anyway, something incredible happens. The relatives want to name the boy Zechariah as his father. But the one who had no voice, that is the mother, for back then women had absolutely no voices on those matters, said, "No, he will be called John." Must have been amazed. They must have been amazed to hear that. So much so that they turned to the father of the boy and asked him. And he wrote on the tablet, "John is his name." Elizabeth already knew what was the name of her own child, just as Zechariah had been told by the angel what the name was going to be. Only after the time had passed and the words of God had been fulfilled, just as the angel said, he said, "Because you talking to Zechariah, because you doubted, you did not believe my words, you will become mute, and remain mute until everything has been accomplished." Now the Baptist is born. His mother, Elizabeth, has asked him to be named, has asked to have him named John. And when his father concurs and says, "John is his name," then his tongue is released. And what is the first things that he says? He blesses God. He's happy. And happier because his tongue has been released. And then suddenly everyone is afraid. They're fearsome. They perceive and know without a doubt, that the hand of God is acting there, right there. I would like to ask you, how many times have you acted like Zechariah the priest? For even though he was consecrated and a priest, supposedly close to God, he doubted the words of the angel. Have you doubted the commandments of God? Have you doubted the vocation of God? Perhaps one of you, and I'm not sure, but perhaps one of you have doubted the vocation, the calling of God. Do not doubt it. Rather, verify that calling with a spiritual director and in your heart, and turn around and look for God. For there is no greater thing and joy than to follow the Christ. And now I'm telling you, being married, I was married with 2 children when God called me to go into the seminary. And I left my business and I entered the seminary. And finally, after 6 months of full-time training in the seminary, I ended the seminary, and then another year passed by. I must confess that during that first year, I heard in my heart, you will be ordained in a year. And it happened. And thus I understood that that was what He wanted me to follow and to do. Do not be afraid, for God will not take anything from you, but rather give you everything. Until we meet in heaven, God bless you all, brothers.